Hi guys, welcome to Full Time Devils. I'm Adam McKola. We're outside Old Trafford, Manchester United 0, Valencia 0. Another disappointing day for Manchester United. I don't really know where to start. We saw a couple of changes in the team. You look at that team and you think more than enough here to beat Valencia. We had Bailly back in the centre of defence alongside Smalling, Luke Shaw, Valencia at fullback. In the midfield, Matic, Fellaini. Again, I'm going to say it now. I don't know why we play with Matic and Fellaini in home games. Matic has been awful for about 6 to 12 months, continues to play week in, week out. Midweek he's talking about, I'm going to look in the mirror. You did look in the mirror, but you haven't changed anything. So I don't understand why he keeps playing. For me, Marouane Fellaini, who have been a big critic of, has been a lot better than Matic this season. And I feel if we're going to play one of them, you play Fellaini or you play Matic and not both of them, especially in home games. I just don't get it because it slows us down so much going through the final third, going through the midfield. It just makes it so slow, so stationary and so static. And that's not good enough for Manchester United. We need quick movement. Today, when things weren't going well, I was looking on the bench thinking, yo, is Pereira on the bench? Bring him on. He's someone that can find gaps, find holes. And he wasn't on the bench. We had McTominay warming up. And look, I love McTominay. But let's be honest, he's not good enough for Manchester United. And even if he is good enough for Manchester United, how different is he to Matic and Fellaini? He's not bringing anything different to the table. So I just felt like the midfield was a big problem for us today. And it's been something that Jose Mourinho constantly does. Two holding midfielders at home. If they're not holding, which I've got to say, at times Matic was just holding and Fellaini was going further forward, it makes it slow because Matic is as slow as Fellaini. Fellaini is as slow as Matic. And it's like watching Laurel and Hardy in there. It's just too slow. Get it going. And I felt frustrated for Pogba today because whenever he got on the ball, looked forward, looking for some movement, it just wasn't happening for him. Romelu Lukaku, who at the World Cup was a beast. He was full of confidence. He was making defenders feel every single challenge if they were winning the ball. He was making sure he was challenging for it. And now the ball's going up. He's watching balls go over his head. He's not hurting defenders. He's not challenging for anything. And we even had to just stick him out wide later on in the game just to try and get something out of him. What is wrong with Lukaku? I genuinely don't know. He scored so many goals this season, yet he's playing like a goal scorer that hasn't scored in about 3 years. Where's his confidence? No one's playing off instinct at the moment. It's all sideways, 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 and the football just isn't good enough. Today, I thought Luke Shaw was our best player. He was the only one putting everything into every challenge. He was the only one trying to make a difference going forward. He was the only one, I say the only one, there was a few others as well, but one of the few that every pass was into space. Here you go, Rashford, run onto that. Here you go, Marshall, run onto that. And everything seems to be feet, 2 feet, take a touch. Oh, I'll go sideways. Oh, I'll go sideways. And it's so boring and it's so easy for people to defend. Valencia just sat back and thought, try it. You're going to have to try something special. We nearly had something special when one of Rashford's free kicks cracked off the corner of the bar. But apart from that, we never ever really looked like scoring. And it's frustrating to watch because at home, in the Champions League, under the floodlights, I was going to say in front of a full house, but it wasn't a full house today, which shows kind of where the fans lie. It needs to be better than that. And I got to say, turning up here today, it felt like I was going to a funeral. It genuinely felt like I was going to a funeral. No excitement, no enthusiasm for it. And I feel that's how the players feel. That's how the players feel on the pitch. That's how the players are playing. And it's frustrating to watch. At the moment, I really want to stand here and say, Mourinho's the man. Let's stand by him. Let's get together, stick together. We'll get through this. But I genuinely don't feel that deep down in the bottom of my heart. I don't feel like that's the case. I feel like the players are just waiting for the right time where the manager's gone. I feel like the board are waiting for the right time to just pull the trigger on the manager. Because if he's your manager and you're going to back him, in the summer you bring us in Alderweireld. In the summer you get his players. And they didn't do that. So I kind of feel like the board ain't backing the manager. The manager's not backing half of his players. What is the point in this? We've got fans that are split. Oh, it's Mourinho's fault. Oh, it's Pogba's fault. How the hell is it Pogba's fault? Someone tell me how is it? Pogba is one of our best players. He's been one of our best players this season. And yes, he has poor performances. But every time he has a poor performances, he gets it in his neck. And nobody else gets it. Sanchez been poor ever since he arrived. Matic, poor every single week. Smalling today, couldn't pass wind. Like, Why is it only Pogba that everyone's talking about? Yes, he's 89 million and he's the star of the show and that. But there's so many times he's the only one trying to make something happen. And I got to say today he wasn't, because I thought Luke Shaw was trying to think. When Martial come on, he was our best player in attack. He was running at defenders, sticking them on their ass, going past them, winning free kicks. Where is that from the rest of them? And this is a Martial that, let's be honest, Mourinho don't even like. Mourinho don't even like him. He don't even want him. He's in there talking about his defensive ability on Wednesday. Bruv, you played at the weekend. You played 5 defenders. And that's why I think says it all. When you're worried about what defensively your attackers are doing, you're never going to attack well. You're playing against the instincts of your best players. Sanchez ain't playing on his instincts. Martial, Rashford, all these men are worried about what's going on behind them too much. They're not playing their natural game. And United have suffered before it. And at the moment, it feels like the fans, although they might not want Mourinho out, they just feel like, all right, we just got to wait for him to go now for this to change. Feels like the players are thinking that, and it feels like there's no control over the board. What I will say is, though, Mourinho isn't the only problem. I think it's a big problem, and I think him chipping at the players, him chipping at the board, him chipping at the fans and everything, him coming out after Sevilla and saying some mad stuff like, oh, you're supposed to get knocked out, I've done it before. All of that has made his job difficult. But if we pull the trigger on Mourinho and we sack him, we can't rush into another appointment. We cannot do it. You have to get your house in place. Ed Woodward cannot be the man making footballing decisions. How is Ed Woodward going to tell Jose Mourinho or a football manager, nah, don't get Alderweireld, Smalling's good enough? Are you on crack? What are you on about? Like, what are you on about? Like, we can't have Ed Woodward making football decisions. So if you're going to get a director of football, if you're going to bring in those people to make footballing decisions, do it when you sack the manager, but do it before you appoint another manager. Because this club is in dire need of direction, in dire need of a plan, in dire need of some forward thinking. Bro, if you go and ask Ed Woodward, what's your plan for this club in 5 years? You know what he'll say? To win trophies. But how are you going to do that, Ed? Because I swear down, you haven't got a clue. You haven't got a clue. And if you haven't got a clue, it's going to spread downwards. But still, nevertheless, I do think Mourinho is to blame for this at the moment. And I think he's lost his players. And the football just isn't good enough. So it feels like a matter of time. Anyway, let us know what you guys think in the comments below. I know loads of you disagree with me all the time. Let us know your thoughts. Is it Mourinho's fault? Whose fault is it? Get your comments in. Subscribe, like, share. Fancam's coming in a bit.